Greetings, Vault Hunters all across the 6 galaxies. Welcome to the Bordercast. We are live at our usual time, Thursdays, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm Mitsu.
And I'm Tessica, bringing you all things Borderlands every week. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us, Liz, the amazing SchviftyFive.
Hi.
Indeed, Liz is here. Yeah, we're happy to have you here, back. I'm still not quite sure. I know we had you on at least once, right?
I think so. Yeah, a long time ago, like at least over a year ago.
Twice. Oh, hello. I think it's been at least twice, but it's been forever. I think we get confused because we see each other every couple weeks for Ultimate
UVH.
Vault Hunters.
Yeah, I just saw you. Yeah, totally. Oh, yeah, no, that's okay. Oh, right.
I don't know. Does Bordercast know that you guys are the awesome people behind the scenes on UVH?
Sort of. We talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, every now and again we mention it a little bit. That's kind of why I want to have more conversations during UVH where it's like, oh, our producers are trying to get us to do X, Y, and Z, like that's off-screen kind of thing. Yeah. Oh my God, that's actually the director of UVH right there. I love that bow tie. Oh my God. All right.
Thank you.
So cute.
I'm gonna try and focus up for a second as we get through everything real quick. As always, we want to take a minute to thank our new listeners on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, and those watching live on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Steam, or later on the VOD on YouTube. If you are enjoying the program, we would love for you to give us a big old like, follow, or favorite, since we bring you that hard-hitting coverage of Borderlands. That's kind of what we do here. That's our thing. That's our shtick.
Yeah. Very important ongoing news things. Crossplay is coming. It's coming. I promise. It's happening. Just please trust us. It's happening. We don't know when, but it's happening. Okay. The Borderlands show happened just last week. It is up on the podcast sites. We recapped it in the last Bordercast episode, which is also up on the podcast sites. Also, the last super awesome episode of Ultimate Vault Hunter is, you guessed it, up on the podcast sites. And you can catch the VODs on Twitch and YouTube. Thank you very much, by the way, for everybody watching, whatever platform you're watching on. If you are watching via Steam and you would like to come chat, pick your poison, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook. We do look at the chats there. So come and join us if you would like to. Some other news. Gearbox merged with Embracer. So now they basically have some nitrous oxide funding in their toolkit, in their vehicle, to drive them forward faster, better, stronger, etc., which is really, really, really cool. Tales from the Borderlands is out right now on Xbox, PlayStation, Xbox One, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5 with backwards compatibility, and PC. It's back. It's available on Steam and I believe also Epic. And it's coming to the Nintendo Switch on March 24th, which is so cool.
That was a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. When that happened during yesterday's Nintendo Direct, I was like, uh-oh, this is a good news. This is a real good news.
People have been asking for a while, and I was like, I don't know, that would be really cool. And then they announced it. I was like, yes! I don't even own a Switch because I can't with my hand, but I know a lot of my friends do, and I'm just excited for all of you guys. If you haven't played it, first of all, Fran, you have no freaking excuse anymore. Zero excuse. Play the thing. It's really good. I actually started a new playthrough of it yesterday on the Borderlands channel, so I'm going to be continuing that over the next couple of weeks just to play through it again because I love it. I'm trying to make different choices so that I see how things change because it's one of those choose your own adventure kind of things. Have you played it, Liz?
I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I've played Borderlands 1, 2, and 3, but I've never played the pre-sequel, and I've never played Tales from Borderlands. So I know, not a true Borderlands fan. But
no,
hey,
you're
it's
a fan.
Coming to Switch.
It's coming to the Switch. Okay, so first of all,
I want to sit in my bed and play Tales from Borderlands. I'm very excited for that. Okay. Do we know when it's coming out?
The 24th.
March 24th.
March 24th.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're in real good shape to be able to enjoy it as soon as it comes out. which is good. I don't think March is too heavy on video games, so you could definitely sneak a Tales from the Borderlands is probably between all 5 episodes. 5 episodes, 6 episodes?
5 episodes. I think.
5 episodes. I had it right. Okay, yeah. Maybe 20, 30 hours, maybe?
I don't know. I'm very slow, so I'm a very bad. Like
somebody told me one of them was like pre-sequel. Is it pre-sequel is only like 7 hours of the story or something?
Something like that. Pre-sequel is short on story, but
long on
again,
side
it
quests and
depends.
stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of side quests, and also like if you ever just want to play the pre-sequel, I want to play it with you because it's fun. It's fun.
Sweet.
Like, yeah. Do you remember Skywell? In Borderlands 3, that whole environment on the asteroid where you're kind of bouncing around with the low grav. It's like that, but more so. Like the low gravity is a thing. You also have to worry about oxygen, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not that annoying. It's really
like a survival kind of game.
Kind of, yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. And it's just fun. And you can like use it to your advantage, like bounce people and bounce yourself. And it's just cool. It's very cool.
Are you going to bounce me off the map? Is that what's going to happen?
No,
are you going to barrel me somehow?
If we get Beans to play with us, then yes, it will happen.
We should do that.
Yes. That would be
Oh my
great.
goodness.
Let's see what else. Jamie Lee Curtis has signed on to be Tannis, and Jack Black will be our claptrap in the Borderlands movie. We're going to talk about all the casting choices with our very own resident actress. Okay, I don't know if all of you guys know this, but Liz SchviftyFive is actually Elizabeth Olin, who has starred in several movies and many, many commercials, and is moving back to LA to pursue acting further in the very near future. So if you guys want to check out her IMDb, you can do that. And she has a much greater knowledge and perspective on the whole acting movie industry than we do. So we can speculate, me and Mitsu, as like viewers and watchers of film. She's actually been in many of them, so it would be really cool to get her thoughts on everything. More on that soon. What else? Borderlands 3 Ultimate Edition is 50% off right now on Microsoft, Steam, and Epic Game Stores. Now, the Ultimate Edition, I believe, includes everything.
That's all the season pass.
Yeah.
I want to say everything. Both. I only think it's season pass 1.
I think so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Ultimate Edition was the one that's like $99 originally.
Okay. I always get these confused. Okay, so Ultimate Edition, 50% off. So you get the base game and the first 4 DLC for half.
Yeah.
Right? And then if you want to buy DLC 5 and DLC 6, those are each $15 separately if you choose to get them.
Or is there a season pass that you could buy?
Oh,
there is a
like
season
$30?
pass. Yeah, I think it's $29.99, so it's like almost the same.
Almost the same price.
So I'm bad at my job. And
Ultimate
just to double
Edition
check, because I didn't
is
want to talk
both.
out my butt, it is everything. You get
Oh, is it?
everything.
It
You
is
get
everything.
Season Pass 1, you get Season Pass 2, you get the Butt Stallion Pack, the Retro Cosmetic Pack, the Neon Cosmetic Pack, the Gearbox Cosmetic Pack, the Toy Box Weapons Pack, and equipable XP and loot drop boost mods that last you until about, I think, level 10 or 12 when they finally fade off
Oh,
a little
that's
bit.
good. That'll get you to Sanctuary and everything. And almost to,
Yeah, the Super Deluxe, Mystique Sired in chat, thank you, was saying, I always get them confused. The Super Deluxe was the one that just had Season Pass 1. So Ultimate Edition includes Season Pass 1, Season Pass 2, you get the first 4 super awesome story DLCs, of which the 4th is the best one ever, because Maya and Krieg are adorable. And also, like, I love all of the DLCs. They're all really, 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 really good. And you get DLC 5, which is Arms Race, and DLC 6, which is coming March 18th, I believe, right? And that is going to have a whole new bunch of story missions with Ava. We get to know a little bit more about her, get to know her deeper story, hopefully get to respect her and see her grow up a little bit, which would be really cool. And also you get a ton of really awesome cosmetics and raid boss. Sounds pretty good to me.
There is a raid boss, and it's very good.
Yeah, really cool.
I ain't going to say anything else right now, though.
Mitsu's actually
'Cause I
played
can't.
it. He's played it. I'm very jealous of this. Very, very.
It goes back and forth. Like I know, I hear this all the time. People say, "Oh, I'm jealous of Mitsu. You get to do the thing," but you have to look at it from both sides. Like, I can't participate. Like, in good conscience, I can't participate in any events of people like speed killing for world first bosses anymore. I don't get to experience things live with everybody. Like, everybody's gonna do this at the same time, except for me, Greg, and Fran. because nobody else has played it yet, as far as I know, except and everybody at Gearbox, obviously, 2K. Yeah, exactly, right. So it's like yeah, no, exactly, and it's like it sounds like it's great because you get to experience content beforehand, but then on the flip side, it's like it kind of takes the excitement out of everything because you want to experience it new and fresh with everybody, but you're not going to because once that genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in.
Yeah. There's no world first for you.
Mm-hmm. That's okay. The only time I've ever gotten... I've never gotten world first on anything. The only time I ever got first for anything was when I got server first, Trial of the Grand Crusader in World of Warcraft without anybody dying during it. And that's how I got the title Grand Crusader. I only claim the fame ever in anything. That's it. That's all I got. So.
Nerd.
Yeah, big time. Tell me about it. It's awful.
I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. We had to put this like special collar on my cat, and it has like a big like sensor thing that's kind of like, it's actually not that heavy and it's fine for her to wear. She doesn't care. It's really funny. You just give her a treat and she'll wear an outfit. My cat is very strange. But anyway, it's just a collar and it's got this like big thing and it looked very industrial, and we were like, maybe we can make it cute. And Rob was like, maybe we could put this is totally unrelated to Borderlands, I'm so sorry, but he was like, maybe you could put a bow tie on it or something. So I looked up bow tie, and the first thing that came up was an avocado bow tie. And so I bought it for like $2 on Amazon. It came, I took it off the collar that was already on and I sewed it onto this one. And now we have bow tie Gingy, and it's the best thing ever. Anyway, Broken Hearts Day is in full swing. Have you guys gotten a wedding invitation yet? It's really nice. That last episode that Liz did on Ultimate Vault Hunter with the amazing TBJ_Quag with Lovebot was so fun for me to edit because Quag sent me a bunch of footage of him making those really, really, really sexy like snipe shots. And it looks so satisfying when you use that thing correctly, and he does that gloriously. So if you haven't checked out that episode yet, it is available on the Ultimate Vault Hunter collection on the Twitch channel and on YouTube, and also in podcast form on whichever platform you prefer. Spotify, of course, is amazing, but all of them are good. Yeah. So, what have you been up to this past week, Liz?
Me? I don't know. Am I allowed to talk about other games?
Well, you're not necessarily not allowed to talk about other games.
I've been playing a survival game that is super, super punishing if you are not geared properly. And I mean, I guess that's, you know, you could say that about any game. Like in Borderlands, you could go in someplace and die a bunch of times and lose all your money and that type of thing. But this one, you just lose all your stuff. Yeah. It's like, it's really hard.
It's like the old days. God.
Yeah.
We could talk about the old days of EverQuest for an hour, and I could be like, hey, yeah, remember all those times I couldn't get back to my body and lost all my experience because I couldn't get rezzed?
Yeah, that's the thing. You lose XP, so you lose like levels that you've gained. Like when you level your like jump ability or your like melee ability, like you lose the levels. So.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough. I mean, I feel like games in general, like all games, have to have some kind of punishment for dying, right? And it makes sense. And I've played too many games like Souls games or the Souls style games that are very like, they put you back location wise and then you have to run past a whole bunch of new enemies and things like that. So there's always some kind of punishing thing. And with Borderlands, I think it's a decent punishment. It's not like,
yeah, it's a 10% punishment. You don't get a crazy penalty.
Yeah, and it's like it's never gonna completely stop your progress because no matter how low so when I first started playing like years ago, I was very confused about the whole new use station thing because I was like, what if I run out of money? But it's 10% of whatever you have, so it's literally impossible to not have enough money to revive. Even if you have like next to nothing, you never really have nothing. Right. But it's definitely one of those things where like if you're playing something like a takedown or a future raid boss that cost you, I think it's 500 iridium to get into, it's gonna be punishing. But it should be when it's a piece of content that you want to be challenging when you're looking for a challenge. In a survival games are like something else. They're like a whole different. I mean, Arms Race is kind of a survival game, right? If you die, you start all the way back from the beginning, right? That's the whole idea of Arms Race.
But you don't have to run and get all your gear again. You have to, I mean, you got to like start over entirely fresh, which is actually worse in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, that was the idea behind Arms Race, at least from my view of it, that it was going to be incredibly punishing if you died, right? Like it's like going to a casino almost. Obviously you're not gambling anything in real life, but
your life.
Yeah, you're gambling your in-game life, and you're gambling on, like, you're taking a chance on the loot that you might have gotten in that run. It might have been amazing, incredible loot, and like maybe you have it on you and you die and that's it. It's gone forever. But you could win and it could be incredible and it could carry you through the rest of the game, or you know, you could use it to fight that takedown boss that you've been struggling against, and it's really cool that way. So, or it could be the perfect piece of loot for your build for something like Ultimate Vault Hunter. So.
Liz, having played these other games now, and you talk about the punishment that comes along with death, do you think that Borderlands could benefit, or it just doesn't fit into the current scheme of how the game is designed? Like, would you want to see something a little bit more punishing, or not necessarily unforgiving, but something more than just, oh, I lost 10% of my money? Because that scale doesn't, it punishes you, but it doesn't really punish you, because how much does money matter after a certain point, you know?
I mean, I don't know. I think it would be a cool idea to have a Borderlands game that was in that vein, but I think it would diverge from what we know and love as Borderlands, you know, like making your build and having your build be, you know, super OP and collecting loot and hoarding and filling up your vault all the way. You know, it's like, I just think that, I don't know. It might make things more precious in that way. So you're not just collecting all the loot and like, well, I got to go back to Sanctuary now and dump all my crap off. Like, you know, like if you're like, oh my God, what if I don't make it back to Sanctuary and then I die and then I lose all my stuff? You know, like that could be interesting.
Yeah.
But then that would also call for hosted servers or local servers or that type of thing. And that would be a whole another mess of,
you
know, another layer to the game.
I wonder if the modding community could like do that with different locations. Like I totally have no idea if this is even possible, but just my crazy brain is like, maybe they could just take Electricity and be like, okay, Electricity in this mod is a survival game and you have to like get gear and then go kill a vault, and then you get some epic loot from that, and you can only basically make Electricity into Arms Race, if that makes sense. That'd be kind of neat. So it would be like instance, like Arms Race, but to other locations in the game that already exist that we know and love, right? That would be kind of interesting, actually.
You call it Brutal Lands.
Yeah, Brutal Lands. Oh my God, that'd be cool.
I've been sitting on that one for about 5 minutes now.
That's good. So yeah, what have you been up to, Mitsu?
Well, Broken Hearts is out. And I am a very happy boy because I have waited for an on-level wedding invitation for, I would say, let's see, 65 was made level cap in September, so probably about September. Because it's because like all of the fun guns that were available over the past year, and we can even talk a little bit about Revenge of the Cartels because we're all anxiously awaiting. I know.
Give me my OPQ system. 390.
Oh, I missed that gun so much.
Soon
it was
enough.
So good.
God, I hope.
Pop. That's my favorite. It was the best.
Pop. The thing goes. I didn't think I could do that.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you. I practiced.
Jesus fucking Christ.
What? Oh, well, okay, fine. Would you rather we just talk about wood blockers for a little while, Liz?
18?
18? All right. Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. That's the tease for staying around for the interview section
Didn't
of our
they buff
show.
the Woodblocker? Didn't Lazy Data do like a full takedown playthrough with Woodblockers only or something ridiculous like that?
He did it because he's him.
Yeah,
Normal human beings can't do it, but Lazy's not normal.
Yeah, Lazy is like on a completely different level of humanity from the rest of us. Him being able to do something definitely doesn't mean that regular old Tess or Mitsu or even Liz, who was very OP, could do it. But I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I haven't tried a Woodblocker ever. I don't think I've ever
maybe Quack could do it too. I'd say
Yeah,
Quack. I mean,
Quack
Quack has that sniper build. He says he has terrible aim, and that man.
No, I'm sorry. I edited the Ultimate Vault Hunter episode to
He's
which
lying.
he sent. Yeah, he's lying. He's lying. He's full of it. He's quite good. It's very cool.
He's like, oh, my aim's all over the place. He tries to make it sound like he's really bad at the game, and he is not.
You know what that's called? Humility,
okay.
and it's a wonderful trait to have.
It's true. I don't have it, but
God damn it.
Isn't that how actors are supposed to be? They're supposed to be all
full of myself. I mean, I don't know.
no,
Try not to
just
be, but-
extremely confident in themselves.
Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna call it that.
You deserve to be confident. You're amazing. Again, for anyone that doesn't know, Liz, SchviftyFive, is an actual actress, and she is in the process of moving back to LA, hopefully in the next several months, to continue that career path as well as streaming and doing all the cool hosting things that she already does. And so we decided to have her back on today to talk about both the Borderlands movie and the casting choices for that, and maybe her insights on why things are the way they are, maybe. But also we want to learn a little bit more about her, because I think we did like a mini intro to who is Liz when she joined the team, but it wasn't like an in-depth thing. So let's do it right now. So
Okay.
so who is SchviftyFive? Tell us about it.
Well, surprise, I have a real name. It's Elizabeth Olin. I have been in a lot of films and television, tons of commercials. I don't know. I used to live in LA, and then I moved away because I was like, King Ithalian. You guys know King Ithalian? He's part of the Borderlands stream team.
I've heard of him once or
You've heard of
twice.
Just a couple times.
He might be a
King
he might be
Ithalian
a
Professor
wonderful-
Sounds
Roman.
familiar.
He was like, move to Tampa. It's going to be great. We're going to have a bunch of friends move down here, and everybody's going to live here, and we're going to have streamer parties and whatnot. And I was the only person who moved. So, while I did make friends and it was great, and, you know, I'm obviously friends with King Italian, Professor Broman, Darkness 49, K Magic 101, like all those guys that live down there and stuff like that. Omni Waffle, you know. I think they're super great. I just this is personal. I just got through a breakup recently, and so instead of finding a new place in Tampa, I opted to move back in with my parents in Kentucky for a brief period of time, and then get my shit together and move back to LA. Get back in the wagon. On the wagon.
Side
horse.
question: how long did you live in LA? You lived there for a long time, didn't you?
7 years.
That's a really long time to live in a place. You probably got to know it pretty well. Like, I think the longest I've ever lived anywhere is actually, New York and also here. But New York, I never lived in the same place. And I've lived in this place for about that long. And it's weird. Like, I know the area really well. And thinking of moving is weird. And if I ever left, I would definitely want to come back. So I totally get that. It's really cool.
Yeah, I still feel like LA is my home, you know,
Yeah.
like every time, like I still listen to KPCC, which is like the local like NPR station. It's
That's pretty cool.
it's what I listen to every day when I get ready for stream. I still am like in love with LA, and I can't get it out of my brain. So I don't know.
Maybe it's the place you're meant to be.
Maybe, hopefully, that's the idea. The idea is still to stream when I get there, like audition during the day, stream at night. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes. But I don't know.
It's
What
gonna
else?
Be good.
I mean, it'll be a tough life, but like you've talked for a little while now. You know, we've had conversation about this where you really wanted to make that jump back
Yeah.
over to LA. And, you know, it sucks that things didn't quite work out down south, but that's just how life goes sometimes, you know, that's the way it is. So you making this move sounds like the perfect idea. And because you're here and we can do these kinds of things, even though how far do our words go, you should be in the Borderlands movie. I am just
Man, seriously.
and if you were going to go, I'll let you speak for yourself on this one. Which role do you think you would fit or want to do the most in the Borderlands movie?
Make me Moxie, please.
Yes. Yes. She would be an incredible Moxie. Like
Oh
first
my
of all,
god.
actual acting chops, okay? Like serious
Imagine
chops.
with dark hair. Dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so this is a side question, and we'll cover this question later. We'll get to this question. We'll come back to it. I don't understand why people get upset about casting choices when someone doesn't look like a character necessarily, because they can do so much with the current technologies of today to make someone look however they want, right? But the acting chops have to be there, first of all.
Sure.
Right? And the less they have to do to make you look like the person, the better, right? And whether or not you can embody the character in terms of like your personality and your ability, your acting ability and all that stuff, that's all up to the person, right? And like I feel like Liz would do an incredible freaking job all around.
I would love to be Moxie. Oh my god. Somebody in chat said that I should play Tiny Tina, which I don't know. I feel like Tiny Tina would be great, but I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know if I'm right for Tina. Like it'd be cool.
I think you could be right for Tina if it was based around Borderlands 3, but in Borderlands 2, there should probably be somebody a little bit younger playing her.
Well, because she's a 13-year-old. But
exactly.
Here's the thing. Cate Blanchett is like not the same age as, you know,
Lilith, or at least what we
Lilith,
interpret to be the same age as Lilith. Absolutely not. Same thing with Jamie Lee Curtis and Tannis. I always interpreted her as maybe a late 20s or early 30s woman. But Jamie Lee Curtis, I believe she's in her 50s now.
No, maybe. I think she's in her 60s.
Is she? I feel like we looked this up the other day. I don't even remember right now.
I think we did look this up, and I don't remember what it was. But also,
because the actual answer surprised me.
Nobody knows how old anybody
is. 62.
Oh, thank you.
62. Yeah. Holy guacamole. She looks like she's like maybe 49, 50.
See, I thought Anne Hathaway would make the perfect Tannis.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my god, yes.
Right?
All right.
The short hair, she's got she's animated, and Anne Hathaway, if you have seen her in any of her movies, she is a chameleon and she can absolutely do it.
And she's a little bit like she's okay. So I don't actually know if she's awkward in real life, although I have met her in real life.
Well, in that one movie, Princess Diaries, she was super awkward.
So like right when she did Princess Diaries, I happened to stumble into her like not actually stumble, but like be in the same Starbucks line or whatever. And I didn't say anything, but I just thought it was cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was random. But I think she does awkward really well. Like I don't think she's actually awkward at all, but at least. How would I know? But at least she did awkward really well in that movie and in a couple of other things that I've seen her in. What was that movie with? Did she do The Devil Wears Prada? That was her.
Yeah, she did Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah. So there were some good awkward moments in that one too. So
yeah, I just really thought Anne Hathaway would make the perfect Tannis. Now, if there was somebody to play Moxie, though, who's your idea to play Moxie? If it's not me,
You?
Dado.
You? Dado?
That's like a slightly veiled inside joke. I'll break it down just 2 seconds. We have a friend in the streaming community, Dado. He's a wonderful human being, and sometimes he does some cross-playing, and one of the cross-play choices that he once had was Mad Moxie. I think it was to coincide with the launch of Borderlands. It was absolutely incredible. He actually did a really, really good job with it. So that's I had to get that one out there. That's my joke.
I think, King Ithalian mentioned the other day, Kat Dennings would make a good Moxie.
Okay.
And I thought that was interesting, but I think Dita Von Teese would make the perfect Moxie.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's fair. I could see that.
She wouldn't have to do anything. She would just show up and be Moxie.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true. That's actually very true.
Yeah. That would be a good
But
one.
here's the problem with some of these castings, though, and you're talking about like everybody's like, well, why did they cast this person? Why did they cast this person? The thing is that people don't realize is that sometimes there's investors, and the investors are overseas, and you're trying to appease investors in order to get a movie sold. So like, in order to sell a movie, they need to pre-sell a movie. They'll have to do it based on who's in the movie already. So like they'll pre-sell it and say like, oh, we've got 2 million in pre-sales, so we can give you $2 million for your movie. Like one investor will do that, and then they got to do that with a ton of investors. So in order to appease the investors, you need names. So you got to have people who are already established, and so that's the difficulty that a lot of independent movies run into, and a lot of just a lot of movies in general run into. That you have to sell. They're like, why is Nicolas Cage in another movie? Like, because they have to sell the movie somehow, and he's a name.
This is exactly why we wanted to have you on for this discussion, because that
makes perfect
never
sense. It's
occurred
like,
to me. Had no idea about that at all. That's actually
and you can give an example. You could be like, we'll use Nicolas Cage. Let's say Nicolas Cage. They just know that he does well, for example, in China. And you're looking to build a giant blockbuster movie like Borderlands, for example, and you want to make sure that there is some outreach to the Chinese market. So you say, all right, well, we know Nicolas Cage is an established guy. Let's bring him in this movie. And the investor goes, oh, well, at least I know I'm going to make my return real quick, quick plus extra, whatever residuals I decide to sign on for, 1%, 2% of the gross, whatever the case may be. And then, boom. You know that like that movie winds up doing really well because that particular market just happens to really love that particular actor or actress. It makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy how they sell movies. I never knew. I went to one of these like independent market sales events one time, and it was insane. They like these people will go and they'll be like, an investor will like sit in a room and be like, well, we were thinking that you would give us this much, and they like write it down, like in a movie, they like write it down on a piece of paper and like slide it across the table, and they're like, well, we were thinking this much, and then they like negotiate based on the little piece of paper that they like slide across the table. It's insane. And then they're like, that's how you get your investment money for independent movies. So I don't know how it works with big budget, productions and stuff like that, but I know about independence.
Is that why like it's so important that you have like the Sundance Film Festival and the Cannes Film Festival, like all of those places, like that's where these kinds of negotiations would take place, basically?
I don't think that those negotiations happen in places like that. It's more of like a production company will buy a movie that has been made already and say, we'll give you money for the fact that you already made the movie, and then they can pay their actors and they can pay their production fees and whatnot. And then that way they have like, if they need to do reshoots, they have like a budget to do reshoots and, stuff like that. So
that's kind of brave, by the way, to like fully develop and create a movie and then push it out at a film festival like that in the hopes that you're going to make it back because your film is seen as that good. Jesus, that takes some balls.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And even to get it into Sundance is just a feat in and of itself. Like okay, I'm going to toot my own horn for a second.
Go ahead.
I was in a film. I had a teeny little part in a short film that won an Academy Award and for best short film. And it got shown at Sundance. Like it was at a theater. And you could view it while you're at Sundance, but it was not part of the Sundance Film Festival. Oh. So it never got shown at Sundance, but it won an Academy Award, which like just even being in the environment will like get you notoriety. And like, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. But like he didn't make it into Sundance, but he the guy who made it won an Academy Award, which is really interesting.
That's amazing.
That's crazy how that works. You think that there would be some sort of like hierarchy, but it just doesn't work that way. It's like, this aspect of the industry seems to be a little bit more isolated from this one. Not necessarily isolated, but like it's compartmentalized, and occasionally there's some overlap and crossover, but like it's not just a ladder to climb. It's many different, and then you have to make lateral movements, and it's more like Wrecking Crew than it is just Donkey Kong, if you will. Which that analogy, 3 people are gonna get it, nobody else is. But that's what I'm going with.
I don't get it.
I'm glad you guys got it.
I don't get it.
Oh, you don't get it? Donkey Kong, because all you're doing is you're just climbing up ladders, as opposed to Wrecking Crew, where there's like tons of different ladders. So sometimes there's lateral movement. Sometimes you have to cross on the right hand side of the screen, come on the left hand side of the screen, and you have to destroy things here. It's a very strategic game. They both came out about the same time. They're both Nintendo games, and it's just like you're looking to destroy all of these different things in Wrecking Crew. But you can't just go up and then destroy it all the way down. Sometimes you have to move left. Sometimes you have to move right. Sometimes you have to jump down in order to go up a different section. So instead of Donkey Kong, which is just climb up all the way to get to Donkey Kong. So that's kind of what that one was about. And like, I know that was very obscure, but that's where my brain went. So I apologize to everybody.
Thank you for explaining it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're running all over the place, and I have like 37,000 different questions that we have for you here. But man, I'm so glad that we jumped into the movie stuff. We're definitely going to get into it a little bit more. Let's try and steamroll through some of these other ones though, because some people don't know, and those people make me sad. How did you come up with your stream name, Liz?
Oh, me? Oh God. There's a meme. It's like 20 years old. It's literally one of the oldest memes that I could even think of. It's an old Flash video from a website called albinoblacksheep.com, called SchviftyFive, and I spelled it wrong on accident, and now it's my name and it's everywhere, and now I can't take it back. So
Did you? I thought you nailed the spelling. I thought it was.
Oh, SCHF. I spelled it SCHV.
F?
Oh.
I thought it was. Oh, I have to go back and watch it now.
Yeah, I spelled it wrong. But it's good though, because like I got my screen name on almost everything except for Xbox. Some jerk has my screen name on Xbox, but
Yeah.
it's close. I got almost everything. I have, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything is SchviftyFive. So
Nice.
but hopefully they don't come back and say like that's our IP and you stole it.
No, because it's
What
V.
Group X comes after you?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I like your stuff.
One
I
letter
don't know.
is different. It's different. It's fine.
It's different.
It's
true.
different enough.
That
Yeah.
was very true.
Oh
at
my
that
God,
point.
Arnold
Shriggity
Schwarzenegger as Mr.
55.
Torque would be amazing. I'm sorry, I just saw that in chat.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, it would be hilarious.
That would be really good, but we'll get there. How long did you actually have you like played the series, Liz? Like Borderlands, I should say.
Borderlands, I was late to the game. I tweeted, I think in like 2017, and I was like, oh my God, I'm playing Borderlands 2 for the first time. What's wrong with me? Why is it taking me so long to get to the game? And Geek versus Nerd Cullen was like, welcome. Welcome.
so cool.
We have cookies. And so I started playing Borderlands 2 in 2017, made it all the way through one playthrough, and I started playing my second playthrough, and I was like, Slag, what? I didn't have anybody to help me play it, so I didn't really know how to do anything in the game, so I just was like, I'm going to go back and play other games now because I need help. And I don't think I was really super good friends with you guys yet. Like, I mean, I was still friends with, with the two of you, but not like as close as we are now, where I feel like I could like call you up if I had an issue, you know what I mean? Like, can you help me? I'm in the middle of, I don't know, whatever. I could ask you.
You just happen to break down in Jersey, and you know that I'm relatively close by, and I'll come get you, like something like that. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah. If I ever had a problem, I know that I could call you guys. And like back then, we were friends, but like I didn't want to be like, hey Mitsu, hey Tess, do you want to play video game? But like now I would.
Always. Forever and always.
But yeah, I would love to go back and play a second playthrough of Borderlands 2. The other Borderlands series. So I played right before Borderlands 3 came out. Professor Broman was like, hey, have you ever played Borderlands 1 before? And I was like, no. And I really want to before Borderlands 3 comes out. And he was like, let's do a playthrough. So me, Probro, She Snaps. I can't remember who the fourth person was. But it's four players, right?
Yeah.
So there are four of us. I can't remember who the fourth person was, but me, Probo, She Snaps, somebody else, all went through a Borderlands 1 playthrough. It only took us 2 streams to do it. I was actually really surprised at how fast the main story was.
Yeah.
We didn't do any side quests or anything. Yeah. We just went through and did main story. But that was really fun and interesting. End boss. No spoilers, but it was weird. Like my just a weird experience, and everybody was just like, "What'd you think of the game?" And I was like, "It was great. I don't know, it was great and weird and interesting, and I don't know, very Borderlandsy. I just really liked it."
I want to play through 1 again because I've only played it once.
Yeah, same. I would play with you again. I've only played through it one time too.
That would be cool because I played 2 like 100 bazillion times because 2 was like I started streaming playing something else, and 3 days into my streaming career, which was not meant to be a career, it was literally just a way to make more friends because I had just broken up with someone and I was like living alone, and I had not just cat but a different cat. Yeah, and I was just like, I just want to make more friends, please. And my other game friends that was an MMO that I played were like, you should try streaming. You could talk to people and play single player games. And I was like, okay. Somebody recommended a multiplayer game called Borderlands 2 3 days into streaming. And I was like, ooh, this looks awesome. And then literally the rest is history because I got super addicted and played it all the time for like forever. But anyway, I never played 1 because at the time 1 had like the field of view and the motion blur, and also my computer was absolute poop at the time and could not handle it, and so like I just had issues and I couldn't play it. So the first time I ever played it was when they released the remastered version right before Borderlands 3. So I want to play it again because I played once and I liked it a lot, but I feel like, especially with the movie coming out and it focusing on like Lilith and Roland. And,
Yeah.
like that'd be fun to do. I would love to do it with you. It would be super cool.
Oh, that'd be great. We should all do a playthrough together.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I wanna fight that last boss again.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was the question you asked me about my Borderlands history?
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
we're getting so off track with everything, and I just realized somebody in chat brought this up, and over on my desk, sitting on my desk, I'm actually going to do this because somebody was like, "Liz, what are you talking about? You and Mitsu are so close. You're the best man at Mitsu's wedding," and then I was like, "Oh wait, that absolutely did happen."
Oh yeah.
It sits on my desk every single day, and I see it every single day. My fucking
God, my hair
no
was so
chin.
short.
Yeah. Like
Your hair was so
what a time that
long.
was. I know. Oh man, it really was. It was getting that long again, but I figured everybody would want to see that real quick.
That's me.
So, yes,
So
it was. That was a
cute.
wonderful time. And
That was great.
yeah. So that's what Borderlands brings to the table. That's
I'm
the
a
kind of
best man.
friendship that you
For real,
were.
does.
You were. Well, best woman, best man. I don't know. What would you prefer?
Woman, best woman.
Best woman. Yes,
Woman.
we'll go.
Yes.
Woman.
Woman.
Best
Yes.
woman.
Whoa.
Whoa, man.
So okay, we need to bust through these questions so we can
Yes,
get
we do.
to, we
Okay,
can
We've
get
got a
to
lot more to
the,
do.
Let's go
the
quickly.
burning like
Yes.
other questions. We have so many questions.
Oh, but I play Borderlands 3 too, as well.
Yeah.
A lot.
Once or twice.
I wonder.
Oh.
Yeah. It's
Anyway, let's dive in.
So what first attracted you to the Borderlands like franchise? What got you interested?
I really like loot, like a lot. And I keep talking about Kagoth, but like he has influenced a lot of the games that I've chosen over the years because he and I have a lot of the same taste in games. Not exactly the same. Like he likes to play some roguelites that I'm not really into, but and some Nintendo games that I'm sorry, I'm not a super huge Zelda fan. Like I didn't grow up with it, so like it wasn't really for me. So I'm not like nostalgic about it, but like things like that are not really in my wheelhouse. But he likes to play looter shooters, and I was like, well, this guy has a Borderlands themed picture on his YouTube, and Borderlands.com was his YouTube, and I was like, well, maybe I'll check out Borderlands because everybody likes, if he likes the same games that I do, maybe I'll like Borderlands as well. And so I decided to play Borderlands 2 on stream. I decided to stream it, and I was just like those games where you get into it and you just don't look at chat at all and you can't stop playing the game.
Yes.
Like that was Borderlands 2 for me. I was so obsessed with that game. I was like, I have to stop playing this game because if I don't stop playing, I won't stop playing. It was so good. So it quickly became one of my top 5 games of all time, Borderlands 2. Even though I only did the one playthrough and I never really got to end game, it's still one of my top 5 games of all time. Borderlands 2, I love it. So how did I get into it? Yeah, Kagoth.
Yeah.
Blame it on him.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I found out about Kagoth and Probro and Mitsu back when he was Mitsurushi Reiji. Is that I'm horribly
hold on. We'll do it.
mispronouncing
We'll do it as Goth would say. Go,
Mitsurugi. Thank you. That it was really awesome.
Yeah, that's
actually.
when I knew him too.
Yeah, like I it's funny because when I first met Mitsu, I don't think he had any idea, but I fangirled a little bit because I had watched him like you were one of the first people that I watched on Twitch. I don't think you know this.
I actually don't think I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you know this, but you were because I started watching Borderlands people because literally I had been streaming for 3 days and somebody came into my stream and they were like, well, what do you like? And I was like, well, I've never really played first person games, but I played Portal and I liked that. And I really, want to play more stuff like that that's kind of like funny and has a lot of personality and is first person. And like maybe if I could even play it with people, that'd be cool because I love that about like the MMO that I've been playing for years, which was Eve. And anyway, this one viewer I will never forget. His name was Buckwheat of all things. And he literally was like, you should play Borderlands 2. And I got super hooked. And then I started watching streamers that played it, and it was you and Goth and Probro, and that's like how it all began. And I just thought the game was so cool, and you guys were so cool, and so it's really funny that it's come full circle this way. But yeah, anyway,
that's all ancient history stuff. That is a conversation that we should have one day, where we should have a show where we have like Professor Broman and Goth and Liz on, and then the two of us, and we'll just talk about like what things were like way back in the day. I'm talking like way back in the day, like when everything was first going down. That's a wild conversation to have.
I think that's a Ben and Corey situation, situation.
Yeah,
I think you should have them on.
It would be awesome
because that's pre me. Like I didn't stream. I wasn't streaming when Borderlands 2 first came out.
Yeah.
That I started streaming maybe like a year after it came out.
Yeah, I didn't start streaming when it first came out. I think I started streaming when it had been out. So wait, hold on. Borderlands 2 was out for 7 or 8 years before Borderlands 3.
7 years. So
Okay.
it's a 7-year break.
Yeah, so because I think you and me started around the same time, Liz. I think I started maybe just like a little tiny bit before you or something.
I think you did.
Yeah, because I started streaming Borderlands 2 when it had been out for like a year and a half or so, something like that. Yeah, so like it was just, I don't know, that it feels like another life. It feels like a whole different universe. Because Twitch is still the Wild West, but it was really the Wild West back then.
We had no idea what we were doing back then.
We still don't.
No, not even close.
Not really.
Liz, I'm going to ask you this question, even though I already know the answers to them.
Yeah.
Have you participated in any events? Maybe have you ever attended a convention, perhaps?
I don't know. Yeah. What do you mean? Just like actual conventions, or are we talking in-game events? Because both, yes.
Well, let's start with in-game events, because I think that's a fair question to ask. And then we can talk about events, because that's going to be another 20-minute conversation, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, I did the Halloween event. I've done the Cartels event. I've done the Broken Hearts event. I played the Broken Hearts event one time, and I didn't save quit when they were like, oh, it turns off at noon. And I was just like, I'm still farming hearts. and somebody was just like, why are you cheating in the game? Because it was like 12:30 and I was still getting the broken hearts, and they were like, you're gaming the system. And I was just like, I just haven't save quit yet, dude. But yeah, so I was just trying to farm. But the Cartels event, I'm really sad the Cartels event is gone and we can't. I just wish Cartels would be open and live all the time so we could always go get our OPQ system. Just like keep leveling it up. That would be great. I just want that map to be open, because it's kind of like a mini, like, I mean, because there's a boss at the end. It's like its own little mini event. And I don't know. I mean, the Halloween event I know is like a themed event that's like only for Halloween. And like, it's really interesting. It puts a new spin on everything. It puts a new spin on your build. The terror builds are super cool, which I used a terror build for so freaking long last year. Yeah, when it first came out. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I just wish that, I know the Broken Hearts event is for Valentine's Day, but like the Cartels event, it doesn't have like a holiday. So like, why couldn't it just be live? You know? But anyway.
I was going to say the Halloween event for you in particular, just remembering back in last year, must have been really special, because you had a Terra theme build back at that point. It was probably one of my favorite builds that I've ever seen over the course of any build that was ever made, because you didn't, if I recall correctly, your Terror build didn't actually use a legendary gun, did it?
No. I used a purple gun. I used a double penetrating pneumatic bang stick. Yeah. Which is the gun that I used for a long time on my flak, because crit damage and all of that stuff. So I could just destroy. I used to run Grave Ward and just like decimate him with terror. It was amazing. It was probably one of my favorite builds that I've ever done. So I wish I could do it again on level. That'd be super cool. Oh, maybe this year. Do you think they'll do it again?
What, Revenge?
No, not Revenge of the Cartels, but the Halloween event.
Oh, well, I mean, they did the Halloween event prior, like that one already happened. I'm sure as it comes around to October again, they'll do yet another one this year. So yes. I can't see why not. They've recycled through the Halloween event already. They've recycled now through Broken Hearts.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed they're going to recycle through Revenge of the Cartels, and instead of making it go away, they just keep it forever. What you were saying is true. I think Revenge of the Cartels is perhaps the one issue I think people have with takedowns is there's no respawn right by the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're still going through an entire area, and you're still fighting through waves of enemies, but you still get to the end, and when you get to the end, if you die, you just respawn, jump down, and try the boss again.
Yeah.
So for many out there, it's the most comfortable way of doing a takedown. It's a takedown that doesn't feel like a takedown. It feels like an entire event, but it's just like the best way that they could have gone about doing it. And it's just got a really cool aesthetic. The music is wonderful. And the rewards are amazing. Everybody loves those rewards.
Yep.
Yeah. OPQ system. Fish slap. Everybody wants to come back. Yellow cake.
Oh my god, the fish slap. Who was using a fish slap?
God.
Somebody.
TBJ.
Who was it?
TBJ.
Was it TBJ Quag using
It was
fish
one
slap?
of the new ones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What
Definitely.
a crazy dude. Isn't that fish slap only like level 57 or something?
Yeah. I think it was the most. It was okay. So I might be getting confused. Because I've edited multiple Ultimate Vault Hunter episodes in the last couple of days actually. So I'm a little. It was either TBJ. I think it was TBJ's build. I think it was Lovebot that used it.
Was it?
I think, but it was. I think I'm actually not 100% sure, but I think so. Triple says he uses his all the time, so maybe it was Triple, and I'm wrong.
It could have been Triple.
It could have been Triple. But yes, it's still level 57, and it's still super effective, which is amazing, depending on the
Because
build
it
that
has
you're going
mayhem
with.
scaling, right? The melee has mayhem scaling?
Yeah. Moxie says it's still the best grenade. Triple says he uses his all the time. People in chat are saying they use theirs all the time. Weasel, thank you. It's just. Yeah, so I know multiple people still use it in their builds in Ultimate Vault Hunter, which just speaks to the community overall using it all the time, which is cool.
So I'll leave you with one. Well, attended any conventions real quick.
Oh, well, if there are any convention in the future, I don't know if they're going to do a live GCX this year. If I just don't think with COVID it's going to be possible.
Not in time.
But GCX is probably my favorite convention because it's big enough that it feels like a full convention, but it's small enough that I feel like I can see everybody and I can talk to everybody and get around and like meet everyone and talk to everybody. So plus the hosting stuff, you know when you and I do the hosting stuff together, I love tag teaming with you. It's really fun.
So much fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a really good time at GCX. If you guys don't know GCX, it used to be called Guardian Con or Destiny Con. It did happen in Tampa for several years, and now it happens in Orlando. And it's hosted by the Rare Drop guys, which would be the same guys we've been talking about: King Italian, Professor Broman, Darkness 429, K Magic 101, all those guys. And I think Lupo's now on the board too. Dr. Lupo's on the board.
Yes, I think he's. I don't think he takes a very active role with a lot of things going on, but I know he threw down and joined in to everything that they're up to. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So all those guys they put on GCX every year. And last year. It seems 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
When Borderlands 3 was getting ready to come out, they got Gearbox to bring out a whole setup of a bunch of computers for us to all play Borderlands 3 on, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
It was the first time I got to play the game, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was the first time I got to play the game.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
and that we also did the we had a big main stage kind of introduction where I think we were talking about somebody's few skill trees
with K6.
Yes, with Killer 6, who's in chat right now. It's funny. He holds up notepads every now and again when he's on stream. The first time I ever saw him with a notepad was at that convention because he actually showed me all of the notes that he had 4 or 5 pages of notes of talking points and things that he wanted to make sure he had all of his information right. It was out of this world. It was wild. It was so cool to say. We have so many other questions. We'll have to have you back on for them.
Yeah, why not?
Because we're just, oh my god, we're so pressed for time in a show that
we'll do them quick.
Okay, really, really quick. What type of streamer do you see yourself, or what kind of streamer do you see yourself as?
I'd like to think like a super OP, like really good at video games type of streamer, but I think I'm a personality streamer. People come to my stream because they think I'm weird and fun and I don't know, just like a crazy person who also plays video games. And I don't know. I don't think people watch me because I'm really good at video games. I feel like I'm decent at them. So, you know, at least there's that.
She
but
is
I hold my
actually
own.
quite good, Chad, just so you know.
Don't let her fool you.
Yeah.
I'm decent at video games, but people come to me because of personality. So I'm cool with that. You think I'm cool? I don't know. If you think I'm cool, you're probably not cool because I'm not cool. And
she is
Which makes us cool.
Chad. She's
which makes me cool.
Right
We're all
now,
nerds
most of the
here.
United
It's all
States is
good.
cool.
Liz
Yes.
literally carried us the first time in Guardian Takedown. Oh my god!
Right?
I forgot about that on Anathema.
I remember watching that. That was
Oh,
so
yeah, it's true.
cool. That
I
was
got
so
him down to
cool.
like half his shield, and I ran out of ammo, and I was like, I'm gonna die. And it's only because I didn't have a cut purse on me, unfortunately. But anyway, okay. Next question. Let's go.
And the last one is, and I imagine I know what the answer is going to be based on previous questions. Of course, we're going to ask it anyway. Who were some of your streaming influences as you got started in the business?
Oh, we know the answer to this question. I've already talked about it like 55 bajillion times. Pun intended. Interestingly enough, some of the okay, so there are people that helped me along the way, and then there are people who influenced me. People who influenced me would be like Leah Loves Chief. Her name now is just Leah.
Leah.
I freaking love her, and I love her stream. She is a gem of a human being and just like a fantastic person, just like IRL. Her Twitter name is Leviathan. If you guys want to follow her, she's super cool.
Yeah, like Leviathan, just Leviathan.
Leviathan. And Miss Team KK, she was a big influence on me when I first started streaming. She was really big in the community, and she just taught me a lot, introduced me to a lot of friends, and so same with Leah. I think those two. Geek Chick, she's Get Gameu now. A lot of these girls. Who else? Geek and Gamer Girl. I think she's just GGG Girl or GG Girl now. A lot of these girls at the beginning of streaming really influenced me. Even Kitty Plays. She was one of the first people that I ever. She was literally the first person I ever followed on Twitch. Like if you scroll all the way down to my follow list, she's number one. So like I took a lot of influence from other female streamers in the community and. Really tried to, this is creepy, but like really tried to study them and learn from them and like figure out like why they're successful and like what happens, like in your stream and like how do you do alerts and like, there was one time I was streaming and I was like, I can't figure out why I'm not able to go live. And it was right when Whispers came out and I was like, I whispered Miss Team KK and she was like, you can talk in my chat. It's okay. And I was just like, I can't figure out why I can't go live. And she was just like, and she was really sweet and helped me while I was still learning the beginnings of streaming and stuff. So yeah, but still the people who those are the people who influenced me. The people who helped me would be like K-Goth, King Italian, Professor Poorman. They just like Dado, like all these people, if they hadn't helped support my stream at the very beginning, like even Triple Rec, Real Crafty, all those guys rated my channel and helped me grow my channel at the very beginning. And if I didn't have them, like, I don't know that I would have gotten partnered so quickly. So
I think the community overall is so incredibly strong and positive and helps so much, but just as much your ability to stay consistent, like when they did that, like they brought people to you and you were there for those people in a consistent, high quality way, being yourself and being your awesome self. And that's like a happy marriage of awesome things, you know, and that's rare in this industry. It's really hard. Like it's really, really hard, even if you get support, to stay consistent. I think somebody asked about streaming in general and the industry and all of that. On the streaming side of the entertainment industry, so to speak, I think the biggest, most important thing, honestly, is consistency. Everything else is also important. Having a personality or being really good at something or being informative or some combination of those things, you know, being interactive, having good visuals, having good audio, all of that stuff is important, right?
Yeah.
But just being consistent and having something of a draw and having that community support and staying consistent beyond the community support, because it's not always going to be there as much as the community, whatever community, the Twitch community at large, will love you and support you. You need to like show up on the days when they're not there still. And if you do that, then maybe things will work out. It's very much like you get lucky and it is what you make of it kind of industry. And I think acting, at least from my very layman's sort of extreme TV watcher, TMZ reader when I was in my teens and etc. Still, like I used to fly a lot. I don't anymore. Even before COVID, I used to travel a lot, so I'm like one of those really annoying people that's like old and like tired of it, which is horrible to say. Who gets tired of traveling? Like I just
I don't want to
honestly,
get sick.
I just moved around too much as a kid. That was it, really. So
Oh.
anyway though, I was very lucky to have the experiences that I had, and because I had those experiences, I had a lot of opportunities to buy trashy magazines and learn way too many things about actors and actresses that probably weren't true. So anyway, from my perspective, the movie and TV industry is like crazy. It's crazier than streaming, and streaming is the Wild West. There's so much that goes into it. Like there's the beauty aspect of it. There's the sort of who you know aspect of it. There's the money aspect of it, which I learned today that I definitely do not understand. I suspected that I didn't understand it, but today I learned for sure. I do not understand what goes into it. So Liz, who is an actual actress, remember Elizabeth Olin on IMDb. You should go and follow her IMDb and check it out, and like go check out her movies, and you know, go check out her Instagram, which is SchviftyFive, SchviftyFive. I cannot spell.
Nice.
Yes.
You got it. That's good. That's good.
You should follow her on all the places because she's amazing. But also, apparently nowadays it's like a thing. If you have a social media following in another platform, any of the platforms, it helps your acting career. That's really cool. I didn't know that. And so how does casting for movies, from your perspective, from what you know, actually work? Like, for something like the Borderlands movie, for an independent small movie, like if you were just a filmmaker from Bumblefudge Borderlands land and you wanted to make a movie, like everything in the spectrum of that, how does that work? If you know.
That is a really long answer that you're going to get. I will break it down real quick though. One, you need money. You got to find money. That's the number one thing. Two, sometimes in order to find the money, you need to find the right people. So the casting sometimes is how you get the money. How else do they cast? I mean, sometimes casting directors will make a list of people that they want. And this is the interesting thing about casting. Sometimes the casting director will make a list of all the people that they want and say like they've got a list of like 10 people. They say like, I want one of these people to be in the movie. And they have castings on top of that to look for new talent. So like I auditioned for a film one time to be in a film with Helen Mirren, and I made it to like the top 5. They were like, we really like her a lot. We want her to be in it. And then they cast some big actress. So it's like, you can't really go by like just castings, because it's not always just the casting. It's like, who can they get and who will get them money and who can they leverage and who, it's like, it's all about your name. And that's why social media is so important now, because social media is a way for you to leverage your name.
Oh, that makes sense.
It sounds like you know what it reminds me of? It just reminds me of what we do. But like quite literally, you go out there, you build your brand. Like I am Mitsu, you are SchviftyFive, you're also Liz. We have, Tessica, you are Tessika. you're building this brand, this image, this name around yourself, and eventually that's how you attract video game companies to want to work with you on our scale. Basically, it's like, oh, hey, we know Tess does great work, so we're gonna bring her on AMD's official live stream and have her host this really cool thing. Like but that's the point. Like that's what you do. You know, it's and sometimes that doesn't work out that way. Sometimes they might look at it and say, hey, we put Tess on this short list, but we really are kind of looking for like Dr. Lupo here for this. And it's not because Tess is bad. It's just they're looking for the reach that Lupo has versus the reach somebody else might have, and that's okay too. It comes down to budgets. It comes down to like what
Maybe
audience you're trying to reach.
got $100 to spend on somebody, so they're not going to get Lupo. You know what I mean? Like it just depends on money. It depends on your reach. It depends on a lot of things, a lot of factors, and playing them off of each other is really important too.
Okay, so. Question that is sort of an offshoot of this.
Sure.
How do you deal with the comparison monsters / the whole like, so it's very like, I feel like the acting industry, as much as the streaming industry in a lot of ways, there's a lot of like objectification and a lot of competition, and it's very hard to kind of not look at someone else and be like, why do they have more than I do? You know what I mean?
Well, I learned very early on in the streaming. So not in the streaming, in the acting business is where it got ingrained in me that you support your friends and you always support each other. And the whole like rising tides raise all ships type thing has been something that I've always lived by. And actually, I mean, I keep mentioning him, but K-Goth was the one who said that to me, and it makes sense. And I've always supported, like in my acting classes, like we had this thing in my acting class where at the beginning of class, if you had a win, you could go up to the front of the room and say like, my win is I just got cast in a national commercial and it's going to air on blah, blah, blah. And, I'm really excited about it because they're going to use me for 5 more commercials, whatever. You could say something really cool like that and the entire room erupts in applause and everybody's like super excited for you because you want to support each other. So the thing I've always thought about streaming is like all the girls that I mentioned, those would be my direct competitors. Like those are people that I would compete with, but like, I never looked at it that way. I look at it as like, how can I, 1, make friends with people who are similar to me, 2, learn from them and figure out why their stuff works and like what's going on with them that makes people want to go to their stream. And, like there's nothing wrong with learning from someone. There's everything wrong with comparing yourself and making yourself feel bad about yourself for not being as good as somebody, or why do people want to go see them and not me? Like don't do that. Just figure out how you can make yourself better.
That's a really, really, really awesome point, and that is why I knew you would answer this well, which is why I asked it. Because I was curious if acting was similar to streaming, because absolutely, I super believe in that, like the whole the rising tide lifts all boats thing.
Because, that's what it lifts all boats.
Yeah, it's super, super, super true in my experience, and like I do feel like there are people that don't think this way, but I think that hurts them more than it helps them. And I think honestly, just believing in your friends and helping your friends only helps you in general in this industry. And obviously it turns out others. I just have no real concept of the acting industry, so I was curious.
It's very much like streaming in the fact that like you are your own brand and you have to sell yourself, and like, it's kind of like a popularity contest, unfortunately. And that's just what it is. You just have to know that like, it's not a contest with each other. It's a contest with the casting people.
Yeah.
And, so
it's you mentioned a rising tide raises all ships. I know Goth like to say that a lot. He like to say it a lot. It's kind of what the entire Borderlands community is predicated on in terms of streaming.
Sure.
And it's what the Borderlands content creation team is predicated on. It's that we're all coming together not to compete against each other necessarily, but to help out each other and lift each other up and like further advance and show what this community is made of. We have our events, the hunt is coming up, and then sometimes tragedy strikes too. I know, unfortunately, senior Gearbox community manager, Noelle, she's going through a lot right now down in Texas with all the storms, and her apartment is mega flooded. And if there's something that we can do in the future, I know the entire team is there too. So like there's a lot of different facets to what we're doing and why we're doing it. And it's just funny how similar acting, just like you said, is very similar to what we do in streaming. I say the same thing about wrestling too. It's the same way. It's all so very similar.
Yeah.
So this is really interesting stuff. Let's break this down a little bit more now and focus it back on the movie itself. What do you think of our established announced cast so far? So we have Eli Roth directing, just to recap everything, right? We have, I forget his name, and I apologize for that. But I know his big claim to fame was he was the screenwriter for Chernobyl, which that's a big effing deal because that was a great miniseries event. If you haven't watched it, go watch it.
Craig Mazin?
I believe so, yes. Craig Mazin. I believe that's his name. We have Kate Blanchett as Lilith. We have Kevin Hart as Roland. We have Jack Black as Claptrap. And we have Jamie Lee Curtis as Tannis. So we have 4 actors announced. We have our director and we have our screenwriter. Based on what you know of those so far, what do you think of these casting choices?
I think Kate Blanchett is a great choice, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think she's a real badass and she could play anything she wants ever. I mean, if you saw her in the Marvel movies, like as Hela, like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
She was just commanding. She was so good. I'm just a huge fan of Kate Blanchett. Jamie Lee Curtis. I'm interested to see if she can bring. I could see her as a little goofy. Like I see Tannis as a little goofy. And I guess I could see that. I'm just concerned that it might be like out of her inner circle of casting. I just, like I said, I would love to see somebody like Anne Hathaway play Tannis. But,
I was still pushing for Aubrey Plaza. I'm going to keep saying that forever and ever, even though it's already been cast. I thought she would have been great.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Aubrey Plaza. I think she's kind of weird. I don't know.
But that's the point. That's Tannis. Tannis is she's just this weird ball of energy that you can't quite describe specifically, you know?
Yeah, that's true, I guess. Yeah.
And they look very similar too. Like
I feel so bad, but I don't know who this is. I'm looking her up right now. Aubrey Plaza. What is she?
Well, you haven't watched Parks and Rec, so
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
No.
Or Safety Not Guaranteed. I think did we talk about that on stream last week? I don't know.
We did. A little bit.
Yeah. That movie.
Yeah,
was,
I don't know this.
That's a Liz movie. Liz, have you seen that movie?
No.
Safety Not Guaranteed.
No.
I know. So real quick, you're a purveyor of internet culture and stuff like that. Do you remember there used to be an image that was posted around all the time with a guy who looked like he was straight out of the 80s with a ridiculous blonde mullet, and he said, "I am looking for a companion for time travel. Safety is not guaranteed. I have done this once before."
No.
It was like in a newspaper, a real clipping that somebody took out, and it was all over the internet. It's a wild time, and somebody took that one clipping and made an entire movie out of it, starring Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I know. You and I, we've talked off in pre-show and post-shows for things about liking like bad movies or like good bad movies and things like that. So that's one of those movies that you would definitely want to check out.
It's got the guy from New Girl in it.
Yes.
Okay, I like him.
So that's you watch that and you can kind of get a little bit more of a sense of what she's about and why she might fit for that. But yeah, Anne Hathaway, I didn't even consider that. That's a wonderful choice.
Maybe I should be in casting and not acting. That's true. Why not both?
Yeah, lots of Hollywood people do multiple things, right? Because I get that it's like you start out doing one thing, right, and then you realize maybe you're also good at another thing, or maybe something else interests you. And like I feel like you evolve as a creator, and actors are creators, even though they may be taking on a role that was created for them or was just created that they're stepping into, and they have to learn that character. No matter what, you bring something of yourself to that character, right? So like the way your take on that character and your presentation of that character is creative in so many ways. And like acting is so interesting to me because it involves so many different things. You're taking on someone else's vision, someone else's sort of like person, you know, they make a person to be in a show and go through certain things, and you have to embody that, but you embody that in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally, visually, like in all the ways that people see. And the way you do that is such a level of creativity and also knowledge, because you have to learn a whole bunch of lines. Like that's the thing that streamers don't do, right? We don't learn lines. We just talk at you guys a lot.
Yes.
we read chat, we respond to chat. Even when we do pre-recorded stuff, the best pre-recorded stuff, in my opinion, is stuff that's just kind of done right the first time and then requires very little actual edits. And that's what we do for Ultimate Vault Hunter. Like, I do edit Ultimate Vault Hunter, but there's not a lot of editing that I need to do for these awesome people, and for the entire team and all the creators that we bring on. And it's really nice to kind of showcase them. But it's not the same thing at all as like learning lines. That's a whole different specter of knowledge and skill. It's a completely different skill to what we do now. And I just think it's really cool that you know how to do that and have done that before. And I'm sure that they have chosen actors for this movie both to sell the movie and because they think that these actors will do a good job. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, yes, she might be older, but I mean, she's done so many incredible things. And so like maybe I wouldn't have thought of her because we think of Tannis as younger in the first place. But first of all, we don't know how old she's actually going to be in the movie. They could do
we don't know when they want to set Borderlands either.
Yeah, we know nothing about the story.
We don't know anything
we don't
about
know
the
the story.
So like it could
Maybe
be anything.
it's advanced. Maybe it's after. Maybe it takes place after Borderlands 3. We don't know.
Yeah, like that would actually, okay, so it would be kind of cool if it was earlier, but in my opinion, it would be a lot more interesting to actual fans of the Borderlands universe and the Borderlands franchise. Actually, I hadn't thought about this, but it would be much more interesting to me personally and those people, I think, if it was set later, like way later, you know, like maybe it's been 30 years since what's happened in Borderlands 3, you know, and Tannis, who's much older now, is still searching for Lilith. And then she finds her. And then Lilith hasn't actually aged. Or maybe she's only aged a little bit because she's been in some kind of crazy time
Stasis weirdness.
Yeah. Like, how freaking cool would that be? And maybe she somehow found Roland there. Or maybe we only see him in flashbacks. We have no idea what the script is. I'm purely speculating right now. But that would be cool.
Roland. I wish Don Cheadle was Roland.
Ooh. Okay. I could see that. That's great.
Yeah. That's my casting choice for Roland.
Don Cheadle. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a question that I wanted to ask earlier, and I think I sort of said it somewhere, either in the pre-show or the main start of the show. But anyway, I don't understand why people get upset with casting choices unless the person has done something horrible. Like, if the person has done something awful or said something awful, just in like they're horribly racist or something, obviously that's terrible and they shouldn't have a job. They shouldn't have a platform, right?
Right.
That's one thing. But like, if the person is a totally like normal human being that is professional and good at their job, and maybe they've never done this kind of acting before, and maybe they don't look exactly like the character, but they're an actor. Like, an actor's job is basically to be a chameleon and to embody a character that is not themselves, right?
Yes.
So like, when you act, you're learning lines and you're showing emotions that you're not feeling yourself, right?
Right. Sure.
Or at least that's the theory.
Right.
So like why would people get mad if someone who's like, say, a comedian that maybe has never done a serious role before gets chosen for a role that they could potentially do a really good job with. We just don't know because we've never seen them do something like that before. You know, why are people?
I don't know, the same way people got mad at Jim Carrey when he did Eternal Sunshine. You know, like
yeah, like I know that people. Okay, so I think I've talked about this a little bit before, and it's very silly. But Rob and I watch my partner, boyfriend, whatever. We watch way too much TV, and we mostly watch like silly crime shows, like things like The Mentalist and White Collar and every other crime show, Bones, all of that. There's just a few that I'm thinking of, and they're all the same. And they all cast Law and Order. They literally all cast the same freaking people for the same freaking jobs, and everybody is typecast. And it's like we were watching MacGyver or something, and or not Hawaii Five-0, but the other one is in Hawaii.
Miami Vice.
No, there's another one.
that's Miami.
Miami Vice is number one new show.
Well, there's another one. Burn Notice is there's like a million shows.
Oh, well, Burn Notice is good. Yeah.
But the same people get picked for the same roles in all of them. Like there's always like a dirty cop that's kind of like harsh but good at her job, and there's always like a fat detective that's like kind of jaded and whatever, but he's ultimately a good guy. Like it's all the same people. And also it's really funny to me, like they always choose the same 3 Russian bad guys. I literally they must call the agency and be like, I need the 3 Russian bad guys, and the 3 Russian bad guys show up. It's really funny. People get typecast so much. It's crazy.
That goes back into what Liz was talking about lists. You have that list that you know that's that reliable list for your casting choices, and then maybe you'll go and look for other people, like Liz was talking about before, where you see, all right, well, here's some of the up-and-coming people. We're not going to use them, but we want to at least have them come in here and see a role. Maybe we can bring them in for another project or something like that. But yeah, we're definitely going with Viggo Mortensen if we're going to go with a bit like scary Russian guy for a little while.
Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, the other one, yes.
But like the fact of the matter is, just because someone is good at one thing doesn't mean they're not also good at something else, especially actors. Like the whole job of being an actor, even more so than being a streamer by a lot, is to be able to embody people that are not you, right? Acting inherently is you're acting like someone else, right? Like your life is not the life of the character, so you are being someone else. So if somebody that is more familiar with comedic stuff, for instance, is asked to do a more serious role in a movie that probably is going to have a fair number of comedic moments, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. And I don't understand why people get mad, because like look at Jamie Foxx, who was super comedic but has done some really, really awesome serious roles, or like Will Smith, who started out being a sitcom actor who's done some incredible serious comedic roles. Serious like dramatic roles, who started out doing more comedic stuff. And like people can transcend their typecasting so much in the industry. And I don't understand why fans don't give them that chance. I understand why like the money people necessarily may not want to take a chance, right? I understand why the people paying for the movie to be successful and investing in the movie to be successful are more risk averse, so to speak.
Right.
I totally get that. I don't get the fans.
I mean, fandoms are a fickle thing, you know?
I just don't get it.
It's very true. So, well, okay. I know you do. I know like the front of your brain is like, I don't get it, but we've had so many conversations that are so similar that when I say this, you're going to be like, okay, I get it. It's passion. That's all it is. Like, why do people get so riled up when their favorite gun gets nerfed in a video game, and then they go, why did Gearbox nerf this? It's passion. They hold on to certain things because they're excited about them, because they feel a connection to them, and they feel like they're part of the active part of the process, even if they're not necessarily part of the active process. So when they get let down, we can even use yesterday's Nintendo Direct, for example. We got some things that we were really looking forward to. I got Mario Golf. We got Tales from the Borderlands coming to Switch. There are tons of cool other things that were there, but there were a lot of people who were like, this is a big letdown. We were really hoping for more from Nintendo. And it's just passion. You build these things up in your head because you expect so much of them, and then when somebody's like, well, we're going to go in this direction, it's not the direction you were thinking of, so immediately you kind of like reject it out of hand just because you already in your heart you believe that it was the right thing to do. And it's really hard to shake a belief. An idea can be changed. An idea is mutable. A belief, that's a completely different ballgame. To get somebody to believe in a project like the Borderlands project, which is unproven, untested right now, that they're making these right calls, people don't know. That's why they're like that.
I get that, but like I love Borderlands so much, so much. Like literally Maya's my favorite. I look like her because I admire her and I love her as one of the most favorite characters in fiction, in books, movies, TV shows, video games, everything, right? So like I believe in Gearbox. I believe in their vision. I believe in all this stuff. I mean, you and I and Liz and everybody on the team and everybody in the directory on Twitch and on YouTube and on Facebook and on Steam watching right now, everybody believes in this franchise to a degree, right? And loves it, and we have passion for it. Right. But like, I don't understand why people wouldn't like they have a vision of maybe a specific actor being in a role, but like all of the actors chosen so far and all of the people chosen so far overall are professional, qualified people that have had a lot of experience. And honestly, this is a thing, I don't know if you've ever done like comedic stuff in the acting sphere, Liz, but I know you from your stream, and you definitely have a really good sense of comedic timing, right? Sweet. Which I do. I know you do. And I feel like that's actually really hard to get right on television and in movies. It's actually one of the most difficult things to actually be funny and have that timing down. And even if you have the lines written for you well by the writers, like to get that right and have it come across as genuine is incredibly difficult, I think, whether you do it on stream or you do it on TV and movies and whatever. And I think if you can do that well, you can do drama well. I feel like drama is easier.
It is. It really is. Comedy's hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, comedy's hard.
I feel like comedy is way harder than drama.
Yeah.
Comedy requires very specific, precise timing. It requires, a very efficient delivery system to get out that particular joke at that particular moment. It's being funny is hard. That's what that boils down to.
Yeah, like I don't know how to do that. I mean, sometimes it works out. I try a lot. It's like one of those things like where me personally, I just throw out a lot of things, and sometimes one thing is like, oh, okay. But it's like one of 5 bazillion things.
Shotgun comedy.
Shotgun comedy. Speaking of comedians, can I bring up Jack Black?
Yes. Absolutely. Yes, please.
Look, I think Jack Black is going to do a really good job as Claptrap. Not who I expected. If I were to recast, I would choose Bradley Cooper.
Like Rocky Raccoon Bradley Cooper?
Imagine him as Rocky Raccoon. Imagine him as Rocket. Okay. And like think about the voice. I would like to hear a voice similar to that as Claptrap.
I hear it. I'm like in my head trying to replay. I'm just adding like the auto tune to it because Claptrap, has the slightly robotic too. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You could absolutely do that as Bradley Cooper.
But I'm still interested to see what Jack Black's going to do because I love him and I think he's hilarious. And Claptrap is all about being goofy and silly and weird and it's like and super full of himself.
That's Jack Black. And Jack Black already has an established history with the Borderlands universe because he was hanging out with Killer 6 at E3 2019. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah. Hey, 6, you're so famous.
Oh, my God. You guys ever heard of that famous guy, Killer 6? He's best friends with Jack Black now.
That's super cool.
So, I mean, there's a lot of different opportunities for that as well. We're so pressed for time. We ran way over, but there are a few like quick hits I want to get out here. And I'm currently watching both the Twitch chat and YouTube chat. By the way, I've been watching you guys the whole time in case you guys thought you were going to sneak it in there. I have seen every single comment today. We have 4 major roles filled, but we still have plenty more people who could be involved or are involved, at least in what we think the story will be. Who could be Commandant Steele? for example. I know. I if I recall correctly, Killer 6 made mention of somebody's name last week. Forget who it was, but you're looking for like somebody a little bit older, can pull off the tattoos.
Anne Hathaway again. I don't know. I love her.
I mean, why not, right?
Steel. God, I don't know.
Somebody suggested Tilda Swinton. I'm not opposed to that. I'm
That
not
would be
opposed to
cool.
that at all.
Choice.
That's a really
Oh my
good choice.
god.
That could
Yeah.
be cool. Angelina Jolie would actually also be cool. I agree with
Really?
that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
guess, yeah.
Do you remember? God, what was the movie where she had the white hair? Fudge. She's done so many movies that I've seen that I've loved.
Angelina Jolie? Well,
yeah.
I don't remember.
There was a movie where she had white hair and it was like braids. It was like Commandant Steel-ish kind of. Salt. No, it wasn't Salt. Was it Wanted? No, I don't think it was Wanted. Wanted, she had Salt, she had black hair.
Mhm.
I don't remember. But she had white hair with braids in one of the movies. It was awesome. I mean, she can pull off anything. Some people can
I mean,
just pull off anything.
she was definitely badass siren material. Like, I could see her making a great Commandant Steel.
It's Tilda Swinton. That's a winner.
Yeah,
you think Tilda Swinton? Tilda Swinton is an excellent choice for that, especially with the current cast lineup.
Gone
that we
in
have.
60 seconds. That was it. Thank you. Yes.
Oh, that was Gone in 60 Seconds.
Yes.
Oh, that's an old movie.
Yeah,
Old
it's old, but
movie.
it's so good. And she was like a mechanic for race cars and stuff like that, and was one of the thieves and stuff, one of the old school crew for Nicolas Cage. And she
Yeah, I
had
was gonna
that
say
white.
we're circling back to Nicolas Cage. Like
Yeah,
we talked about at the beginning
yeah.
of the show.
She had the white hair and the dreads and the braids and stuff, and like, I just feel like she would make a badass siren no matter what siren outfit you put her in. But that would be a good one.
Mhm.
Yvonne Strahovski would be freaking amazing in any role.
Oh,
Ever.
chat also says Brie Larson.
Brie Larson. That's not a bad one. I like Emilia Clarke. I could see Emilia Clarke going in there.
Emilia Clarke.
That's a good choice. That's a real good choice.
Yeah.
All right, so Commandant Steel. We're almost to the one everybody wants to talk about. It's after this one, I promise, because I'm setting up for it. Mordecai. Who could be Mordecai? I said Keanu. Somebody pointed out to me that even because I said Keanu, and somebody like, you could have Keanu just be in his own movie, and every role's Keanu, and that's the best movie ever.
Fair.
Just throw him wherever. It's
Suddenly
Keanu.
I want to
Reeves.
watch The Matrix again.
Yeah, oh, oof, John Wick.
Or that. Or
Yeah.
and that.
And that.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah.
I don't know that I have an idea for Mordecai.
Yeah, that
That's
one's
a
tough.
difficult one.
That one's tough.
And again, we're not necessarily going by the build, but when I see Mordecai, I see somebody who's tall, like lanky, somebody who's very dry, sarcastic wit. Again, like Keanu Reeves can pull off based on previous experiences with some of his acting roles. Somebody who obviously knows how to handle firearms, which Keanu literally takes weapons training for his roles in John Wick, for example.
What about Oscar Isaac?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. No, I'm in. I like that idea a lot. That's
Yeah.
real good. So,
Please
for
don't
those of
hate
you who
me. I
don't know,
don't know
Oscar
what
Isaac
this
is Poe Dameron from the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, among other things.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. Somebody suggesting Pedro Pascal. Sure, why not? You can just throw him in anywhere anymore. Don't, Liz, calm down. I shouldn't have said it. I
You
realized
can't
that.
say his
I
name
know.
around me.
I know, that was my bad.
Liz wants to go on a first date with Pedro because
I want to
he's
go on many
amazing.
dates with Pedro Pascal.
It's so cute. It's so cute. Seriously. Okay.
Don't mention him.
There's a
Didn't name.
tweet. There's a very cute tweet out there somewhere. Just saying.
I had to delete it because I'm scared of DMCA's because
No!
Twitter right
Oh
now.
my goodness.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so sad about
It
that.
was sweet, and then somebody on Twitter, I think Loco was like, you gotta
Was
delete
there
all your
music
DMCA.
in that?
Yeah.
It's DMCA free for Twitch, but not for Twitter.
Wait, is that not all in? Wait,
It's royalty free music specifically for Twitch. It's not royalty free for like YouTube or Twitter or whatnot. So like I can't the music that I use.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you about that because now I'm confused.
Yeah.
I would assume that something is due if it's some. Okay, so
It's been I think the license is for Twitch. It's not for like any other platform. So that's what I was told. Anyway.
that
No idea.
is ridiculous and upsetting.
So I was just scared. I was scared. I didn't know. I don't want to get my Twitter, suspended indefinitely because of one tweet. So.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if he has seen it, it's already passed through his mentions. So delete is fine. Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. I'm just okay. This is totally unrelated to Borderlands, so I won't get too into it. But the whole DMCA thing is ridiculous and scary, and I worry about it a lot.
Yeah.
And the fact that something can, I feel like if something is, because the reality is for all of us that are creators of content on any platform, whether you started on TikTok or Instagram or Twitch or Twitter or YouTube, it doesn't matter. The reality is we all have to spread out to other platforms, right? If we stick to just one individual platform, we're hurting and hobbling ourselves in the short term and potentially wrecking ourselves in the long term, because if something happens on one platform and we don't have anything set up on another platform, we don't have a leg to stand on if we get screwed over, right? So I feel like if a music provider that says they are safe for X platform says they're safe for X platform, they should also make sure they are safe for Y platform and Z platform and ABC platform, I feel like they should make it clear that they are safe for all platforms, because we as content creators have no choice but to exist on multiple platforms. And trying to police like what's safe for one and what's safe for another and all of that is just totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
That's a whole messy legal argument for
completely an entire podcast.
Oh yeah,
about that.
that's all.
I have another Mordecai casting choice.
Listening.
Ooh.
A more perfect Mordecai casting choice.
Ooh.
He played Hector on Westworld. His name is Rodrigo Santoro.
Not familiar with them.
I'm
Why?
looking this up.
I will watch Westworld to see if I can.
You have not seen?
I have not seen Westworld.
Okay, so I've only seen a little bit. Okay, total side note, but Rodrigo, what's the last name?
Santoro. Rodrigo Santoro.
Okay.
He plays Hector.
Oh, okay, I remember this guy.
Hector's the bad guy. He's the bad guy, but he turns good.
Yeah. So I saw
Spoilers.
like most of the first season. It was really good, but it was like this happens to me a lot with TV shows because I binge them and I watch.
He's in like the very first episode.
Yeah, but like I watch a whole lot of it and then it becomes too much very quickly and I have to like take a break. So I took a break from Westworld and I never went back after like 4 or 5 episodes. But I remember him. He was cool.
He's amazing, and I think I think he make a great Mordecai.
So that brings us to the next one.
Okay.
The big one that everybody's going to have an opinion on. It's almost going to be universally the same. Let's just get it over with. Who plays Brick?
The Rock.
It's The Rock. It's absolutely Dwayne Johnson. It's 200% Dwayne.
It's gotta be The Rock.
You can't bring Kevin Hart into a movie like this and not also have The Rock involved in some way.
I do think that would be cool to have them.
Doesn't
both.
happen. Yeah.
I super agree.
Is there anybody else? I see some people are lobbying for Dave Bautista. Bautista's not a bad idea either. Bautista's a little bit more of a bulldog as opposed to like the Rock, who's like a Great Dane, and like Brick is like a Great Dane. I'm comparing everybody to dogs now. If we're gonna do that, I guess. Sure. And
What's
so
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is a Papillon.
Papillon.
Papillon. That's how you pronounce it.
Papillon.
Papillon. And then yes, that's Kevin Hart. So like Like Brick is just like, he's just this giant mountain muscle guy, and like The Rock is what, 6'3", 6'4".
I don't
Like
know.
he's just like these days, especially he's more jacked now than when he was in the ring as The Rock. It boggles my mind. The dude is
He's 6'5".
huge. He's 6'5". That sounds about right. All right, so yeah, I mean, that's Brick.
He's got to
Brick,
play
so.
him.
He's got to. I honestly can't see anybody else who could better encompass the role of Brick at this point. And for me, it would be really funny if they do have Kevin Hart play a serious character as opposed to The Rock, who's going to be playing this off the wall. But I saw Central Intelligence actually for the first time last night and didn't realize like The Rock is off the wall in that movie and Kevin Hart's kind of serious. Like I don't know if you've ever seen the movie, but like Kevin Hart's just this dude who's just like an accountant just trying to make his way in the world, and The Rock is playing a CIA agent who's trying to solve this whole like mystery plot, and The Rock is just out there and Kevin Hart just keeps it grounded. And if you have that back and forth between the two of them, then it would work.
It would be awesome, and I think it would be a good thing. And I just, like I feel like so many people are angry about this, and so many people are apprehensive about this, and like apprehensive is better than angry. The people that are angry, I'm just like, why are you angry? That's not fair. The people that are apprehensive, I understand because it's something that's so far outside his established wheelhouse. But like, look at, oh God, what was his name? Hold on. The Riddler.
Which Riddler?
The one that passed away.
There was a Riddler that passed away?
Not the Riddler.
The Joker, Heath Ledger?
The Joker.
Oh, Heath
Joker.
Ledger.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My brain is done for forever. Literally. I don't know what's been going on with my brain for the last couple weeks. Anyway, the Joker. So Liz, say his name again.
Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger.
Okay. Heath Ledger was in a movie called A Knight's Tale.
Yes! I love that movie.
I love that movie too. Keira Knightley's in it. It's so cute and funny and ridiculous. And like, nobody knows this, but he started out as a comedy man. He was a comedy actor. He was comedic in a bunch of different movies. He did that one with, this other girl. Oh my God. The teen movie. What was the
10 Things I Hate About You?
Thank you. Yes.
Movie? Oh.
Thank you, Liz. 10 Things I Hate
With
About
Julia
You.
Stiles.
Yes. Thank you. Her. Oh my God. You and my brain
God, Julia Stiles.
getting along better than
now we're getting
me and
way
my
back
brain.
in movie history.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, okay, so Heath Ledger played in 10 Things I Hate About You with Julia Stiles, and also A Knight's Tale with Keira Knightley, and that's like how a bunch of them got their starts. He was a comedic timing star. He did such a good job with all of that. And then he did like crazy drama and took it so seriously, and things got really dark and went to a really bad place, but he did a really, really good job with that too, right? I mean, I genuinely think that comedy is actually much more difficult than drama. Now, drama is easy to overplay, right? But comedy, understanding timing and understanding what makes people smile and laugh and the timing of that and just doing that correctly. It's so hard. It's so hard to do that on a set. Like, you guys see little, rectangular windows of our locations. Sometimes you just see us in front of a cool background, right? And maybe there's a game and we're doing funny things in the game and interacting with it, and like a funny thing happens. Actors, they don't have any of that. You see everything about them as edited by an editor, but still, like, they have to interact with other actors and they have to understand sort of the jokes that their writers have written for them, and they have to express them in a way that makes sense. And people that are comedians don't even have writers. They just make their own stuff up, right? And that takes a level of creativity and understanding of the human condition and just skill that I don't even understand. And I feel like that is so much harder than drama. And the people that are angry and upset and like worried about Kevin Hart as a comedian doing a serious role. First of all, I think that he could absolutely do a serious role. I think anybody that does comedy can do a serious role, probably better than somebody that can't do comedy but can do drama. But I also think Borderlands is at its core a hopeful, funny thing, right? There's a lot of humor in Borderlands. So I feel like he's a good choice. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but that's my take on that one.
We're way, and I mean extremely way.
Like an hour over.
Like an hour of what that's okay.
I gotta go.
We're gonna break down the fourth wall real quick because that's what I like to do sometimes here. This is what it's like when we're filming Ultimate Vault Hunters. This is just us basically doing a post-show or pre-show of Ultimate Vault Hunters.
This is what we do. Sometimes we won't get started for an hour because we're just talking and just talking and talking and talking.
Sorry.
It gets bad.
We
but
love
there's
each
one
other.
more name. I doubt he's going to be in this movie, but there's one more name that I wanted to put out there because everybody talks about it. Who would make a good handsome Jack?
Ryan Reynolds.
I
Agreed.
had a feeling that's the usual go-to. Was there anybody else on that list though? Since apparently there are casting lists.
I don't remember who else Chat mentioned. Chat mentioned somebody else, but I can't remember who it was. Chat, do you have any suggestions? Because I can't remember.
Damian
Gyllenhaal?
Clark. Yeah, Damian Clark should
Clark.
actually be the one to do it. But I mean, I don't think that's actually going to happen. We'll have to figure it out. Sam Rockwell. Some people have been saying Sam Rockwell recently as well for Handsome Jack. I've noticed that name bandied around a lot. I'm down for that.
Hugh Laurie? No way.
Hugh Laurie? I mean,
It's gotta be Ryan Reynolds. It's gotta be Ryan Reynolds.
I feel like Ryan Reynolds.
I think it's like he is Deadpool. I think he is Handsome Jack. That's the thing. I think there's no other choice for me than Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Timothy Olyphant. That's not a bad choice either.
He's not handsome.
I know,
Handsome, but he's rugged handsome. He's not handsome. Ryan Reynolds is handsome. Nick Cage. God damn it.
No, you know what what the game we're playing now is? We're naming people for Liz to shoot them down. That's how we end this one. Michael Fassbender. How about that one?
I can't remember what he looks like.
Yeah.
Michael Fassbender? Did you see Days of Future Past? He was Magneto.
No, not him.
No, not him.
No.
John Hamm?
Chris Pine as Handsome Jack.
No, not Chris Pine.
No.
I
like the spirit.
I
He
actually
could make a
think
young
he could
Handsome
do it.
Jack.
Yeah,
like a.
I think they'd have to like age him up a little bit, but I do think he could pull it off.
Tom Cruise is Handsome Jack. YouTube is suggesting right now. Tom Cruise is no.
Tom Cruise isn't funny.
No.
He can be.
That wit.
Can
You
be.
need that humor, that bite, that
Yes.
sting, and like Ryan Reynolds has that. He's
Yeah,
got that snake bite.
And
I
we're
feel
talking about
Tom
like bankable
Cruise is
stars.
great, but
Who's a more
he would
bankable
be
star?
Too evil.
Yeah.
Like he's really good. Okay, so he's really good at being a good guy in a lot of movies. He's like an action star, blah blah blah. But like he would. I mean, I don't know. Handsome Jack is kind of evil. So I'm not
evil, of course, but like Deadpool is not perfect.
But what you have to remember is Handsome Jack thinks he's the hero.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of Handsome Jack is he believes that he's doing the right thing. He's also doing it because he wants billions of dollars. But if you remember in the pre-sequel, he's like wholeheartedly convinced that all of us are bandits and that we're the bad guys. And he's trying to sanitize the planet to make Pandora a better place. That's what he believes in his heart. And so if Ryan Reynolds is great at playing good guys, he thinks he's the good guy. He could still do it. Based on that premise.
Yeah, so could Tom Cruise. That would be weird, but like honestly, I feel like you could probably pull it off. I don't know. It's so fun to speculate.
Zac Efron was a choice.
That
David Tennant?
You know what? I could do Zac Efron. I could do that. Yeah,
That's fair.
Maybe
I could see that. He's. I've seen him in some comedies. He's funny, and he's very handsome. I could see it.
I think, you know what the other thing it has to be? You have to find an actor who's willing to wear a mask of themselves for the entire movie.
What about Dane Cook?
Oh, where are you going to dig him out from under? What has he even been up to for 15 years?
What about Dane Cook?
Oh my I'm not
God.
disagreeing with you. I'm just wondering what like trash pile you're gonna find him from.
I don't know if
God.
he's handsome enough. He's definitely sarcastic enough.
Man.
Yes.
Did you ever
Definitely
see Waiting?
sarcastic
He's in, I
enough.
mean,
No.
he's in it for like 10 seconds, but like he's still good in that.
Oh
Robert
my God.
Downey Jr. could do it.
Robert
He
Downey
could do
Jr.
it.
Yeah.
He could
He
super
could do
do
it.
it. That would
He's
be great.
funny and got that bite.
Yeah. Oh my
I-
God, he'd be great. He'd be awesome.
I don't know if I'm 100% sold. He'd have to shave.
He could do it.
I mean, he could do it, but like, I would he do it? You know?
He could do it. Man,
Benedict
Robert Downey
Cumberbatch?
Jr. would actually be amazing.
What about Rob McElhenney, that guy from It's Always Sunny?
Always Sunny, yeah. Well,
Do you think he's
no.
handsome enough?
no, he's a handsome man, Mr. Garrison, but like,
Is he funny? He's funny enough.
well, he's funny, but I don't. If we're going for somebody who doesn't look quite as Jack-ish as Jack, and we were still like letting him in, then yes, Rob McElhenney would be a great choice. But like we say Ryan Reynolds or like Benedict Cumberbatch, that he like Rob is a little bit more stocky, and like Benedict Cumberbatch or somebody like that, they're like lanky, and Jack is like he's a straw man. He's like a lanky dude.
Yeah.
You know, Joel McHale.
No, I hate Joel McHale.
You don't like Joel McHale?
No way.
What? Does that mean you didn't like Community? Are you gonna break my heart live on stream? Are you gonna do that?
Didn't this is going to be controversial. I'm not sure if this is true or not. Didn't he have some like personal issues like with his girlfriend that like
I don't know anything about that, but if that
I can't
was actually
remember.
true, that would be a completely different conversation, and then I would be not okay with that. But that's a
I'm not
that's
sure
a
if it's
way
Joel
different
McHale or if
conversation.
I'm thinking of somebody else who also played another character that they look very similar, and I might be thinking of somebody else. It's possible.
Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy's not a bad choice. That's Scarecrow from Batman Begins, and I guess all the way through too, technically. If you want to.
Cillian Murphy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think he's a
Dr. Jones?
fantastic actor, but he's a little creepy. He's got a creep. He's got a creep vibe. And
Henry
handsome Jack doesn't have a
Cavill
creep
for
vibe.
Jack?
He's
That's
too
brave.
jacked.
Yeah. He's too buff.
jacked.
He's
Too
buff.
jacked to play
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
So
did
it
it.
wasn't Joel McHale. Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else then. I can't remember who I'm thinking of, but
That's a good one. Andy Samberg. No.
Handsome Jack.
Little too squirrely for you.
yeah,
Okay,
He's
I
funny
knew where
enough.
you were going with it. Yeah.
he's funny enough, but he's not handsome enough. You got to be
Johnny
handsome to
Depp
be
could
handsome,
do
Jack.
it. Johnny Depp.
Johnny
could
Depp.
definitely
Well,
do it.
Johnny Depp has an unfortunate amount of baggage that goes along with that. That's really
That
messed
is
up
true.
right
That's not
now,
his
so
fault.
that's-
That's not
I
his
know
fault.
I know it's not his fault. I know it's not a fault, but that just sucks because he probably would be okay. I don't know. He's a little too like dour for Jack. He's
Yeah.
very like
Orlando Bloom, maybe.
okay.
I would like to see him in a comedy role. I don't know if he's funny enough.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've never seen him be okay. So I think that Jack has to be sarcastic, which takes comedic timing, which I don't think Orlando Bloom actually. I don't know. I've never seen him in a comedic role, so I don't know.
Wasn't he in Pirates? Like
Yeah,
I know,
but he wasn't
yeah.
funny in Pirates at all. Like everybody
Was he?
around him,
No,
yeah,
he's a straight actor.
Yeah, everyone
he played
around
that-
him was
it's
funny,
been so
but
long
he
since
was
I've
the
seen it, I
serious
guess.
one.
Mm.
So like that's the thing. Like I am one of those people that will never like people know what they're able to do, right? So like actors probably know whether or not they admit to themselves or not what they're capable of, right? Sometimes maybe they haven't stretched, they haven't come outside of their comfort zone, and their comfort zone makes them money, so they just stick to that, right? And the same thing I'm sure goes for casting directors, and the same thing I'm sure goes for streamers and the people that hire streamers and everything in between. However, I feel like everybody's capable of more. Bradley Cooper is actually a really good suggestion. I do think he could do it.
If not Claptrap, why not Jack?
Yeah.
That's
Bradley
a good point.
Cooper would be great because he's done a lot of very interesting stuff.
And comedy stuff. Didn't he do? He did Wedding Crashers,
That's a great movie.
and he was funny in it. He played a bad guy, but he was funny in it.
So Bradley Cooper, I don't think a lot of people know this, but I think one of his earlier roles was as a supporting actor on a show called Alias. Do you guys remember that show?
I do remember
heard of
Alias.
it, but I've
Alias
never
was
seen
a
it.
very,
Love that
very
show.
smart show.
Yeah, so
Very smart show.
Alias was okay, so the girl that played in it was the
Jennifer Garner.
Yes, Jennifer Garner, who originally was on a show called Felicity, and then she jumped to Alias, and that was her starring role. And Bradley Cooper was like her best friend in that show, and he was the kind of like the comedy relief. He was very normal, and she was a spy, and there was some weird. It was funny because that show I've seen it many, many, many times over and over again, and it's one of those shows that like it starts to have some sci-fi stuff that you don't realize is sci-fi until you have watched it a few times and you're like, wait. Because it kind of like eases into that really slowly and it doesn't seem like sci-fi. It's all very real and realistic until suddenly it's not and you're like, wait, what? How do we get here? But anyway, it was very funny because he was the comic relief. He was kind of the normal guy that's just in her life that like doesn't know about all the crazy until later. And he had this like very supporting role. And then he did God, what was the show in Las Vegas? Hangover?
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
called Hangover. Yeah. So that movie launched a bunch of careers. His, and then there was like another funny guy. There was a bunch of funny guys. He did that and it was hilarious and ridiculous. And then he did Limitless, the movie, and like a bunch of other crazy things. And they were all so different from each other. So he's very much capable of multiple things. And it would be
Yes.
cool to see him do this.
So we could sit here and do this for another hour, I think, at least.
Probably.
Yeah.
But we are so way over where we usually would have to end the show. And I'm sad because chat has been so interactive with this conversation today. And that goes back to what I was talking about before. It's about passion. Everybody is passionate about this movie. Everybody wants it to be the best movie that it possibly can be. And Liz, we could, like I said, we could go on forever and ever and talk about this. And when more movie news happens, we would love to have you back on.
I would love to be back on.
Please, we would love to, because there's just so much to talk about and theorize. Maybe not for like the next drop, but as we get like a story outline and we have like something really like to hold on to and talk about more, that would be a really good time to have you back on. So
Yeah.
we really can't wait to do so. But in the meantime, because it is that time, Season Pass 2 is out now. With the designer's cut is already out, as most of you know, and the director's cut is coming out very, very soon, March 18th of next month. Liz, again, thank you so much for being here today. It was so much fun to talk with you and to just hang out, because that's basically what we did. We just spent 2 hours just hanging out with chat, which was really like the coolest thing. You said it before. By all means, one more time, where can the people find you on the interbuts?
I'm everywhere at SchviftyFive. It's SchviftyFive.
Cool. And Tess?
Right here on the Borderlands channel a lot. I'll be back Sunday for sure, possibly before then, with some more tales from the Borderlands, which Liz, you now have no excuse. You have to play. And also, I want to play Borderlands 1 with you guys because that would be really fun with both of you together.
Brilliant.
Anyway, yeah, so the interwebs, Instagram, Twitter, at Tess Games, Twitch, Tessachka, it's just Tessa, CHKA, and right here on the Borderlands channel on a very regular basis. And Mitsu?
Twitch.tv/Mitsu, MITSU. Twitter.com/Mitsu Show, MITSUSHOW. And I would plug anything else, but honestly, I'm not going to upload to YouTube anytime soon, so let's not even worry about that. It's not even worth addressing. So, it's been a wild episode. What a time. Tess, bring us home, please.
It's been so fun, you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much, Liz, for joining us. Go check out her IMDb, Elizabeth Olin, and you will be able to say when she gets her Oscar someday that you knew her back back in the old days of Twitch, and it'll be really cool because seriously, she's amazing. So make sure you follow her on all the things. And thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube and Facebook and Steam and Twitch, and listening on Spotify and SoundCloud and iTunes and TuneIn and YouTube Music and Stitcher. I will put links to Liz's channels and Mitsu's channels and my channels if you're curious in the podcast description section. Definitely check out the movie when it comes out. We'll be talking about it lots more. We're excited. I'm super excited. We're all super excited. We love this franchise, and we love Borderlands and Gearbox and everything they do, and we're just psyched to see what comes of all of this. I'm sure it will be exciting and awesome. We'll be back next week on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and Steam at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And also Liz will return with triple underscore G for a very special episode of Ultimate Vault Hunters next Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. And you guys check out the podcast. Thank you so much for being here and being amazing. We really appreciate it. Mitsu.
Of course. Super glad to be here. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. So, way late, like an hour late. And we apologize for that. Sorry for keeping you guys. But on behalf of Tess, myself, and the entire content creation team, thank you so much for joining us as you do every single week. Now go forth and make some mayhem.